Unlocking your true potential is a journey that many embark upon, seeking fulfillment, purpose, and a deeper understanding of life. In the context of Buddhism, this journey involves a profound transformation of the mind and heart. It is not merely about achieving external success or acquiring material wealth, but rather about realizing the inherent wisdom and compassion that reside within each of us. Buddha teaches that our true potential is often obscured by various beliefs and attachments that cloud our perception and limit our growth. By letting go of these limiting beliefs, we can uncover a more authentic and liberated version of ourselves. The path to unlocking true potential begins with self-awareness and mindfulness. It requires us to look inward and examine the beliefs we hold about ourselves and the world around us. These beliefs, often ingrained from a young age or influenced by societal norms, can act as barriers to our personal growth. They shape our thoughts, emotions, and actions in ways that may not always serve our highest good. Buddhism offers a framework for identifying and releasing these limiting beliefs, allowing us to tap into a deeper sense of peace, clarity, and purpose. As we delve into the teachings of Buddhism, we learn that many of the beliefs we cling to are rooted in misconceptions about the nature of reality. For instance, the belief in a permanent, unchanging self can lead to suffering and dissatisfaction. Similarly, attachment to material possessions or the constant pursuit of pleasure can create a cycle of craving and aversion that hinders our spiritual progress. By understanding these concepts and applying Buddhist principles in our daily lives, we can begin to dismantle these false notions and move towards a state of greater freedom and enlightenment. In this exploration of unlocking true potential through Buddhism, we will examine various beliefs that hold us back and discover practical steps to let go of them. Through mindfulness practices, meditation, and self-reflection, we can cultivate a more expansive and liberated mindset. This journey is not about rejecting the world or renouncing all desires, but about finding a balanced approach that aligns with our true nature. By embracing Buddhist teachings, we can transform our lives in meaningful ways and unlock the boundless potential that lies within each of us. In Buddhism, beliefs are not merely abstract notions or intellectual concepts. They are deeply ingrained mental constructs that shape our perception of reality and influence our actions. These beliefs can either liberate us or bind us, depending on their nature and the extent to which we cling to them. Central to Buddhist philosophy is the understanding that many of our beliefs are rooted in ignorance and delusion, leading to suffering and dissatisfaction. The Buddha taught that by examining and transforming these beliefs, we can move towards a state of enlightenment and true freedom. One of the core teachings in Buddhism is the concept of right view, which is part of the Noble Eightfold Path. Right view involves seeing things as they truly are, free from the distortions created by our conditioned beliefs. This requires a deep understanding of the Four Noble Truths, which outline the nature of suffering, its causes, its cessation, and the path leading to its cessation. By internalizing these truths, we begin to dismantle the false beliefs that perpetuate our suffering. Buddhism also emphasizes the impermanent and interdependent nature of all phenomena. This perspective challenges the common belief in a permanent, independent self and encourages us to see ourselves as part of a larger, ever-changing web of existence. By recognizing the transient nature of our thoughts, emotions, and experiences, we can begin to let go of rigid beliefs that limit our potential. Moreover, Buddhist practice involves cultivating mindfulness and awareness to observe our thoughts and beliefs without attachment or aversion. Through meditation and mindful living, we develop the ability to see our beliefs clearly and understand their origins. This awareness allows us to question and ultimately release those beliefs that do not serve our highest good. In summary, understanding the concept of beliefs in Buddhism involves recognizing their power to shape our reality and committing to a path of self-inquiry and transformation. By aligning our beliefs with the principles of impermanence, interdependence, and compassionate wisdom, we can unlock our true potential and experience a profound sense of liberation. In Buddhism, the concept of the self is considered an illusion, a construct that arises from our attachment to transient experiences and perceptions. This illusion of self, or anatta, suggests that what we commonly perceive as our individual identity is not a permanent, unchanging entity, but rather a collection of ever-changing physical and mental components. These components, known as the five aggregates or skandhas, include form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. By clinging to these aggregates as if they were a solid and enduring self, we create a false sense of identity that leads to suffering. The illusion of self is deeply ingrained in our psyche and influences how we interact with the world. It fosters a sense of separation between ourselves and others, leading to feelings of isolation, competition, and conflict. This perceived separation also fuels desires and aversions, as we constantly seek to protect and enhance this illusory self while avoiding anything that threatens it. In reality, however, everything is interconnected and interdependent. The boundaries we draw between ourselves and the world are arbitrary and misleading. Recognizing the illusion of self is a crucial step in unlocking our true potential. When we understand that our sense of self is not fixed but fluid, we become more open to change and growth. This realization allows us to let go of rigid identities and embrace a more flexible and compassionate approach to life. It also helps us see through the delusions that cause suffering, such as the need for constant validation or the fear of losing our status or possessions. By practicing mindfulness and meditation, we can observe the transient nature of our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without becoming attached to them. This practice helps us see that these experiences do not define who we are. They are simply passing phenomena. As we cultivate this awareness, we begin to dismantle the illusion of self and experience a greater sense of freedom and peace. In essence, letting go of the belief in a permanent self allows us to tap into a deeper understanding of our true nature. It frees us from the constraints of ego-driven behavior and opens up new possibilities for personal growth and spiritual development. By embracing the Buddhist teaching of anatta, we can move beyond the limitations imposed by our false sense of self and unlock our full potential. In the teachings of Buddhism, attachment to material possessions is seen as one of the primary obstacles to achieving true inner peace and unlocking one's full potential. This attachment stems from a deep-seated belief that material goods can provide lasting happiness and security. However, this is a misconception that often leads to a cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. The more we accumulate, the more we crave, and the less content we become. This endless pursuit of material wealth can cloud our judgment, distract us from our spiritual path, and create unnecessary suffering. Buddhism teaches that everything in the material world is impermanent and subject to change. By clinging to possessions, we set ourselves up for inevitable disappointment when these items are lost, damaged, or no longer bring us joy. This attachment can also lead to negative emotions such as greed, envy, and anxiety, further distancing us from a state of inner tranquility. To break free from this cycle, it is essential to cultivate a mindset of detachment and simplicity. This does not mean renouncing all worldly goods, but rather changing our relationship with them. By recognizing that true happiness comes from within and not from external objects, we can begin to let go of our excessive attachments. Practicing generosity and gratitude can also help shift our focus away from what we lack to what we already have, fostering a sense of contentment and fulfillment. Moreover, mindfulness practices can aid in observing our thoughts and feelings about material possessions without judgment. This awareness allows us to understand the root causes of our attachments and gradually release them. As we learn to live with less and appreciate the present moment, we open ourselves up to deeper spiritual insights and a more meaningful existence. In essence, letting go of attachment to material possessions is a crucial step in the Buddhist journey towards enlightenment. It frees us from the bondage of desire and allows us to experience life more fully and authentically. By embracing this principle, we can unlock our true potential and find lasting peace and happiness within ourselves. In the pursuit of unlocking true potential, one significant belief that Buddhism encourages us to let go of is the desire for constant pleasure. This desire is deeply ingrained in human nature and is often seen as a driving force behind many of our actions and decisions. However, Buddhism teaches that the relentless quest for pleasure can be a source of suffering rather than fulfillment. The desire for constant pleasure is rooted in the misunderstanding that happiness can be sustained through external means. This belief leads to a cycle of craving and temporary satisfaction, followed by inevitable dissatisfaction when the pleasure fades. Buddhism introduces the concept of dukkha, often translated as suffering or unsatisfactoriness, which arises from this endless pursuit of pleasure. According to Buddhist teachings, all conditioned experiences are transient and subject to change. When we attach our happiness to these fleeting moments of pleasure, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. The more we chase after pleasurable experiences, the more we reinforce our attachment to them, creating a never-ending loop of desire and discontent. To break free from this cycle, Buddhism advocates for the cultivation of mindfulness and awareness. By observing our thoughts and emotions without attachment or aversion, we can begin to see the impermanent nature of all experiences. This awareness helps us understand that true contentment does not come from external sources, but from within. It encourages us to shift our focus from seeking constant pleasure to developing inner peace and equanimity. Moreover, Buddhism emphasizes the importance of practicing moderation and finding joy in simplicity. By letting go of the incessant need for pleasure, we can appreciate the present moment and find contentment in everyday experiences. This shift in perspective allows us to experience a deeper sense of fulfillment that is not dependent on external circumstances. In essence, letting go of the desire for constant pleasure is about recognizing the limitations of external gratification and turning inward to cultivate a more stable and enduring sense of happiness. It involves embracing the present moment with acceptance and gratitude, rather than constantly seeking something more. By doing so, we can unlock our true potential and live a life that is not driven by fleeting desires, but grounded in lasting contentment. In Buddhism, the fear of change and impermanence is recognized as a significant barrier to unlocking one's true potential. This fear stems from a deep-seated desire for stability and predictability in life. However, the teachings of Buddhism emphasize that change is an inherent part of existence. Everything in life is transient, from our emotions and thoughts to our physical surroundings and relationships. Clinging to the illusion of permanence only leads to suffering, as it sets us up for inevitable disappointment when things inevitably change. The concept of impermanence, or anicca in Pali, is one of the three marks of existence in Buddhist philosophy, alongside suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. Understanding and accepting impermanence can be liberating. It allows us to appreciate the present moment without becoming overly attached to it. When we embrace the transient nature of life, we become more adaptable and resilient, better equipped to handle life's ups and downs. Fear of change often manifests as resistance to new experiences or reluctance to let go of old habits and beliefs. This resistance can stifle personal growth and prevent us from reaching our full potential. By acknowledging that change is not only inevitable, but also necessary for growth, we can begin to see it as an opportunity rather than a threat. This shift in perspective can open up new possibilities and pathways that were previously obscured by our fear. Buddhist practices such as meditation and mindfulness can help us confront our fear of change. Through these practices, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing us to see them for what they are, temporary states that come and go. This awareness helps us detach from the need for permanence and control, fostering a sense of inner peace and acceptance. Ultimately, letting go of the fear of change and impermanence enables us to live more fully in the present moment. It frees us from the constraints of our own expectations and allows us to experience life with greater openness and curiosity. By embracing the ever-changing nature of existence, we unlock our true potential and find a deeper sense of fulfillment and contentment. In the journey of unlocking true potential, one of the most profound realizations in Buddhism is the understanding that the notion of control over life's events is an illusion. This belief often stems from a deep-seated desire to manage and predict every aspect of our existence, driven by the fear of uncertainty and the unknown. However, Buddhism teaches that life is inherently unpredictable and ever-changing, governed by the principle of impermanence, anicca. Clinging to the idea that we can control external circumstances leads to suffering, dukkha, as it sets us up for inevitable disappointment when things do not go as planned. The Buddha's teachings emphasize that while we cannot control external events, we can cultivate a mindful and compassionate response to whatever arises. This shift in perspective allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with greater equanimity and resilience. By letting go of the need to control, we open ourselves to a more fluid and adaptable way of living, where we can respond to challenges with wisdom rather than react out of fear or frustration. Moreover, relinquishing the illusion of control helps us develop a deeper sense of trust in the natural flow of life. It encourages us to focus on what we can influence, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, rather than becoming entangled in futile attempts to manipulate external outcomes. This approach fosters a sense of inner peace and freedom as we learn to accept life as it is, rather than how we wish it to be. In practical terms, this means embracing mindfulness practices that ground us in the present moment, allowing us to observe our thoughts and emotions without attachment. It also involves cultivating qualities such as patience, acceptance, and gratitude, which help us navigate life's uncertainties with grace. By letting go of the belief that we must control everything, we create space for personal growth and transformation, aligning ourselves more closely with the natural rhythms of existence. Ultimately, recognizing the futility of trying to control life's events is a liberating insight that can profoundly impact our well-being. It invites us to live more authentically and harmoniously, free from the constant strain of attempting to bend reality to our will. In doing so, we unlock a deeper potential within ourselves, rooted in acceptance, wisdom, and compassion. In Buddhism, the belief in a fixed identity is considered one of the fundamental misconceptions that hinder personal growth and spiritual development. This belief stems from the notion that our sense of self is permanent, unchanging, and distinct from others. However, Buddhist teachings emphasize the concept of anatta, or non-self, which asserts that what we perceive as our identity is actually a collection of constantly changing physical and mental components. These components include our thoughts, emotions, memories, and bodily sensations, all of which are in a state of continuous flux. The idea of a fixed identity can lead to rigid thinking and behavior patterns, making it difficult to adapt to new circumstances or embrace change. It often results in clinging to certain roles or labels that we or society have imposed upon us, such as being a parent, professional, or even a failure. This attachment to a static sense of self can cause suffering when reality does not align with our expectations or when we face situations that challenge our self-concept. By recognizing the impermanent and interdependent nature of our existence, we can begin to let go of the limiting belief in a fixed identity. This realization allows us to see ourselves and others more compassionately and flexibly. It opens up the possibility for growth and transformation, as we are no longer confined by the narrow definitions we once held about who we are. Embracing the Buddhist perspective on non-self encourages us to cultivate mindfulness and awareness in our daily lives. Through practices such as meditation and self-reflection, we can observe the transient nature of our thoughts and feelings without becoming attached to them. This awareness helps us break free from the constraints of a fixed identity and fosters a more fluid and dynamic understanding of ourselves. Ultimately, letting go of the belief in a fixed identity enables us to unlock our true potential. It allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and resilience, as we are no longer bound by outdated notions of who we should be. By embracing the ever-changing nature of our existence, we can experience greater freedom, creativity, and fulfillment on our spiritual journey. In the pursuit of happiness, many people fall into the trap of believing that external means, such as wealth, status, relationships, and material possessions, are the key to a fulfilling life. This misconception is deeply ingrained in modern society, where success is often measured by what one has rather than who one is. However, Buddhism teaches that true happiness cannot be found in external circumstances. Instead, it arises from within, through the cultivation of inner peace and wisdom. The Buddha emphasized that all external conditions are impermanent and subject to change. Wealth can be lost, relationships can end, and material possessions can deteriorate. When we tie our sense of happiness to these transient things, we set ourselves up for inevitable disappointment and suffering. This is because the nature of external means is inherently unstable. They are part of the ever-changing world of samsara, where nothing remains constant. Moreover, the pursuit of external happiness often leads to a cycle of craving and attachment. When we achieve something we desire, the satisfaction is usually short-lived, prompting us to seek out new desires to fulfill. This endless cycle keeps us trapped in a state of perpetual dissatisfaction, always looking for the next thing that will supposedly make us happy. Buddhism refers to this as dukkha, or suffering, which arises from our insatiable desires and attachments. To break free from this cycle, Buddhism encourages us to turn our focus inward and develop qualities such as mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. By practicing mindfulness, we become more aware of our thoughts and emotions, allowing us to recognize when we are being driven by external desires. Compassion helps us cultivate a sense of connection with others, reducing the need for external validation and approval. Wisdom enables us to see the true nature of reality, understanding that lasting happiness comes from inner contentment rather than external acquisitions. One practical way to shift our focus from external means to internal well-being is through meditation. Meditation helps calm the mind and allows us to observe our thoughts without judgment. Through regular practice, we can develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and learn to find joy in simple moments of presence and awareness. This inner transformation leads to a more stable and enduring form of happiness that is not dependent on external conditions. In conclusion, the belief that happiness can be achieved through external means is a misconception that leads to suffering and dissatisfaction. By embracing Buddhist teachings and turning our attention inward, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and contentment that transcends the fleeting nature of external circumstances. True happiness lies within us, waiting to be discovered through mindful living and compassionate action. In Buddhism, the ego is often viewed as a construct that distorts our perception of reality. The ego creates a sense of separation between the self and the world, fostering an illusion of individuality and independence. This illusion can lead to a myriad of misconceptions and attachments that hinder our true potential. The ego thrives on comparisons, judgments, and the need for validation, which can cloud our understanding and appreciation of the present moment. The influence of the ego on perception is profound. It shapes how we interpret experiences, often leading us to see things not as they are, but as we want them to be. This skewed perception can result in suffering, as it creates unrealistic expectations and desires. For instance, when we view success through the lens of the ego, we may equate it with external achievements and recognition rather than inner peace and contentment. This can lead to a relentless pursuit of goals that may not truly fulfill us. Moreover, the ego tends to cling to a fixed identity, resisting change and growth. It convinces us that we are static beings with unchangeable traits and limitations. This belief can prevent us from exploring new possibilities and embracing transformation. By holding on to a rigid sense of self, we limit our ability to adapt and evolve in response to life's challenges. Buddhism teaches that by recognizing and transcending the ego, we can achieve a clearer, more authentic perception of reality. This involves cultivating mindfulness and self-awareness to observe how the ego influences our thoughts and actions. Through practices such as meditation, we can learn to detach from the ego's narratives and see things as they truly are. Letting go of the ego does not mean eradicating it entirely, but rather understanding its role and diminishing its control over our lives. By doing so, we open ourselves up to a more expansive view of existence, one that is interconnected and free from the constraints of self-centered thinking. This shift in perception allows us to experience greater compassion, empathy, and wisdom, ultimately unlocking our true potential. Mindfulness, a core practice in Buddhism, plays a crucial role in identifying and overcoming limiting beliefs. At its essence, mindfulness involves paying deliberate attention to the present moment without judgment. This heightened state of awareness allows individuals to observe their thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise, providing a clear window into the workings of the mind. By cultivating mindfulness, one can begin to recognize the habitual patterns and conditioned responses that shape their perception of reality. When it comes to identifying limiting beliefs, mindfulness acts as a powerful tool for introspection. Often, these beliefs operate below the level of conscious awareness, subtly influencing behavior and decision-making. Through mindful observation, one can bring these hidden assumptions to light. For instance, during meditation or daily mindfulness practices, an individual might notice recurring thoughts of inadequacy or fear of failure. By acknowledging these thoughts without attachment or aversion, they can start to see them for what they are, mental constructs rather than absolute truths. Furthermore, mindfulness encourages a non-reactive stance towards one's inner experiences. This means that instead of immediately accepting limiting beliefs as facts or trying to suppress them, one learns to observe them with curiosity and openness. This shift in perspective is transformative. It creates space for questioning and reevaluating long-held assumptions. Over time, this process can lead to the realization that many limiting beliefs are based on past experiences or societal conditioning rather than inherent truths about oneself. In addition to individual practice, mindfulness can be integrated into various aspects of daily life to continually identify and challenge limiting beliefs. For example, mindful communication involves being fully present during interactions with others, which can reveal underlying beliefs about self-worth or social acceptance. Similarly, mindful decision-making requires pausing to reflect on the motivations behind choices, uncovering any fear-based or self-limiting narratives that may be at play. Ultimately, mindfulness fosters a deeper understanding of the mind's tendencies and empowers individuals to break free from the constraints of limiting beliefs. By consistently practicing mindfulness, one develops greater clarity and insight into their mental landscape, paving the way for personal growth and the realization of true potential. Letting go of limiting beliefs is a transformative process that requires mindfulness, self-awareness, and consistent practice. In Buddhism, this journey is often guided by the principles of the Eightfold Path, which offers practical steps to cultivate a liberated mind. The first step is right understanding, which involves recognizing and acknowledging the limiting beliefs that hold you back. This requires deep introspection and an honest assessment of your thoughts and behaviors. By identifying these beliefs, you can begin to see how they shape your perception of reality. Next, practice right intention by setting a clear and compassionate intention to release these limiting beliefs. This involves cultivating a mindset of openness and willingness to change. It's essential to approach this process with kindness towards yourself, understanding that letting go is a gradual journey rather than an immediate transformation. Engage in right speech by being mindful of the language you use, both internally and externally. Negative self-talk can reinforce limiting beliefs, so it's crucial to replace it with positive affirmations and constructive dialogue. Speak to yourself with the same compassion and encouragement you would offer a dear friend. Right action involves taking concrete steps to change behaviors that are rooted in limiting beliefs. This might mean stepping out of your comfort zone, trying new activities, or adopting healthier habits that align with your true potential. Each small action reinforces your commitment to letting go of old patterns. Right livelihood encourages you to align your work and daily activities with your values and aspirations. Engage in pursuits that bring you joy and fulfillment rather than those dictated by societal expectations or fear-based beliefs. This alignment helps create a sense of purpose and reduces internal conflict. Practice right effort by consistently working towards releasing limiting beliefs without becoming discouraged by setbacks. Understand that this is a continuous process requiring patience and perseverance. Celebrate small victories along the way and remain committed to your growth. Right mindfulness is crucial in this journey. Regular meditation practice can help you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to observe them without attachment. Through mindfulness, you can recognize when limiting beliefs arise and gently redirect your focus towards more empowering perspectives. Finally, cultivate right concentration by developing a focused mind through meditation and other contemplative practices. A concentrated mind is less likely to be swayed by fleeting thoughts and emotions, providing a stable foundation for deeper insight into the nature of your beliefs. By integrating these practical steps into your daily life, you can gradually dismantle the limiting beliefs that hinder your true potential. Embrace this journey with patience and compassion, knowing that each step brings you closer to a liberated and fulfilling existence. In the journey of unlocking true potential through the teachings of Buddhism, real-life examples serve as powerful testimonies to the transformative power of letting go. One such example is that of a successful entrepreneur who found himself constantly stressed and dissatisfied despite his material wealth. He realized that his attachment to material possessions and the constant pursuit of more was a source of his suffering. By embracing the Buddhist principle of non-attachment, he began to let go of his need for external validation and material success. This shift allowed him to find contentment in simplicity and focus on meaningful relationships and personal growth, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling life. Another inspiring story is that of a woman who struggled with the fear of change and impermanence. She had always sought stability and control in her life, which led to anxiety and resistance whenever faced with unexpected changes. Through the practice of mindfulness and meditation, she learned to accept the transient nature of life. By letting go of her fear and embracing impermanence, she discovered a newfound resilience and adaptability. This transformation not only reduced her anxiety, but also opened her up to new opportunities and experiences that she had previously avoided. A third example involves an individual who grappled with the notion of a fixed identity. He had always identified himself with his professional achievements and societal status, which created immense pressure to maintain a certain image. However, through studying Buddhist teachings on the illusion of self, he began to understand that his true essence was not confined to these external labels. By letting go of his rigid self-concept, he experienced a profound sense of liberation. This allowed him to explore different aspects of his personality and pursue passions that he had long suppressed, leading to a more authentic and joyful existence. These real-life examples highlight the profound impact that letting go of limiting beliefs can have on one's life. They demonstrate that by embracing Buddhist principles such as non-attachment, acceptance of impermanence, and the understanding of the illusion of self, individuals can transform their lives in meaningful ways. These transformations are not just theoretical, but are lived experiences that showcase the practical benefits of applying Buddhist teachings in daily life. Embracing Buddhist teachings in daily life offers a multitude of benefits that can lead to profound personal transformation and a deeper sense of fulfillment. One of the primary advantages is the cultivation of mindfulness, which allows individuals to live more fully in the present moment. By practicing mindfulness, people become more aware of their thoughts, emotions, and actions, leading to better decision-making and a greater appreciation for life's simple pleasures. This heightened awareness can reduce stress and anxiety as individuals learn to respond to situations with calmness and clarity rather than reacting impulsively. Another significant benefit is the development of compassion and empathy. Buddhism emphasizes the interconnectedness of all beings and encourages the practice of loving kindness towards oneself and others. This shift in perspective fosters healthier relationships and a more harmonious community, as individuals become more understanding and supportive of one another. Additionally, the practice of compassion can lead to increased emotional resilience, as it helps individuals navigate challenges with a sense of grace and acceptance. Buddhist teachings also promote the concept of non-attachment, which can be liberating for those who struggle with materialism or the constant pursuit of external validation. By letting go of the need to cling to possessions or outcomes, individuals can experience a greater sense of inner peace and contentment. This detachment does not mean disengagement from life, but rather an ability to engage more fully without being weighed down by expectations or disappointments. Furthermore, embracing Buddhist principles can enhance one's sense of purpose and direction. The teachings encourage self-reflection and introspection, helping individuals align their actions with their core values and aspirations. This alignment can lead to a more meaningful and fulfilling life, as people pursue goals that resonate with their true selves rather than societal pressures or superficial desires. Incorporating Buddhist practices such as meditation can also improve mental and physical health. Regular meditation has been shown to reduce symptoms of depression, anxiety, and chronic pain while enhancing overall well-being. It provides a space for individuals to connect with their inner selves, fostering a sense of tranquility and balance that permeates all aspects of life. Ultimately, the benefits of embracing Buddhist teachings extend beyond personal well-being to encompass a broader impact on society. As more individuals adopt these principles, communities can become more compassionate, mindful, and resilient. The ripple effect of these positive changes can contribute to a more peaceful and just world, where people live in harmony with themselves, each other, and the environment. In summary, integrating Buddhist teachings into daily life offers numerous advantages that can transform both individual lives and society as a whole. From cultivating mindfulness and compassion to fostering non-attachment and enhancing mental health, these timeless principles provide a roadmap for living a more meaningful, peaceful, and fulfilling life. In conclusion, the journey to unlocking your true potential through the lens of Buddhism involves a profound transformation of your inner world. By letting go of limiting beliefs, you open yourself up to a life of greater clarity, peace, and fulfillment. The teachings of Buddhism offer timeless wisdom that encourages us to look beyond the superficial layers of existence and delve into the deeper truths of our being. Embracing concepts such as the illusion of self, the impermanence of all things, and the futility of seeking happiness through external means can lead to a more liberated and authentic way of living. As you embark on this path, remember that personal growth is not a destination, but a continuous process. It requires patience, mindfulness, and a willingness to confront and release deeply ingrained beliefs that no longer serve you. Each step you take towards letting go is a step towards greater freedom and self-awareness. The practice of mindfulness can be particularly powerful in this regard, helping you to stay present and observe your thoughts and emotions without attachment. Real-life examples have shown that transformation is possible for anyone willing to commit to this journey. Whether it's overcoming fears, breaking free from material attachments, or redefining your sense of identity, the benefits of embracing Buddhist teachings are manifold. You may find yourself experiencing increased resilience, deeper connections with others, and a more profound sense of inner peace. Ultimately, the encouragement for personal growth lies in recognizing that you have the power to change your life from within. By integrating these teachings into your daily routine, you can cultivate a mindset that is open, flexible, and aligned with your true nature. As you continue to explore and apply these principles, you'll likely discover that the potential for growth is limitless. So take heart in knowing that every effort you make towards letting go is a step towards unlocking the boundless potential that resides within you. To keep expanding your spiritual awareness, click one of the videos on screen now.